Hello and welcome back to another episode of Combat X with Alan Dawson. Today's episode is a unique one over here at Swerve Combat on the Roku channel 243 and other fast channels like Prime Video, Fubo, Vizio and Sling, because we're looking ahead at a premier boxing champions event in Las Vegas with two of the OGs of American boxing in today's era. We've got Caleb Plant, we've got Jermall Charlo, and I've spoken to both athletes numerous times over the years, and this time we go into their stories a little bit more. For Caleb, that means going into his childhood, one that was poverty-stricken as he was moved from trailer to trailer during his upbringing, all the way through to his early 20s when he started to make a little bit of money in boxing. He had that determination to double down in a career in sport, and I think Caleb's story is an inspirational one. Plant has fought some of the baddest guys in boxing in the super middleweight and middleweight divisions, including Saul Canelo Alvarez, Anthony Durrell, David Benavidez, and Trevor McCumbee. His next fight is against Armando Resendez, and it's a fight you can watch live on Prime Video on Saturday, so check out Combat X with Caleb Plant right now. Hey Caleb, it's great to see you again, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, yeah, thanks for taking the time. Like Andrew said, I'm writing a feature about you for Yahoo Sports, about your life as a staple of Las Vegas and American boxing. Sweet. As an elite fighter, but really it's kind of like the journey, because you know it's such like the American dream, a rags to riches story. I think you can, I think you kind of epitomize that in our sport. So some of this is fact checking, memories and stories from your childhood to, multimillionaire athlete and family man today. So you were born and raised in Ashland City. How long did you live in that part of Tennessee?
I lived there from the time I was born till probably 21, 22.
Okay, so when you were well into being an adult.
Yeah, and then I moved from Ashland City to West Nashville.
Yeah.
And I stayed at a friend's house for free on a mattress on the floor, right down the street from the gym. I had lost my apartment in Ashland City. So like around 21, my daughter passed away.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, her mom left. And then shortly after that, I lost the apartment because, things was just kind of going downhill for me, you know what I mean? And I was like making money through boxing and then also making money other ways. And I felt like my career was starting to take off and I didn't want to jeopardize it anymore. So I stopped making money in other ways and moved to my friend's house so I could stay there for free on the floor and really just right down the street from the gym, and was like, man, this is like, I can't let this opportunity slip, you know what I mean?
How are you still in contact with that friend? Was that a friend from the gym?
We don't talk too much no more, but like no hard feelings or nothing, just, how life gets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I've seen a photograph of the place you grew up in, I think it must have been when you were a boy, 2-bedroom trailer. It sounded like food was always trouble to get. Is it true that you kind of asked for help when you were at school, and were school and friends?
I mean, there were times where we had to get food from the Bethesda Center, which was like a place down in Ashland City where like people just donated like canned goods and just like bullshit ass food, like we would go down there and pick some up sometimes, like, so.
Is that common for Ashland City?
There are definitely some other kids like that in Ashland City for sure. And there's some that are just a little more like middle class, but then there's like some that are slightly below middle class, and then we were even like below that, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I was like young. So yeah, there were times where I would like save up money at school, or, ask for $1 here and there and save up and, get like me and my sister, try to get us something a little better.
But I read that you saw a lot of foreclosure papers. Did you know what that meant at the time?
So we lived in a house back in the back of the field, and we wound up losing that house. So that house got foreclosed. And we had to move, and my parents were separated, but they lived in the same house. So my dad would be in one room, and my mom would always be locked away in her room. And so then when we lost the house, like, they went their separate ways, you know what I'm saying? And I had went and stayed like with my mama at another trailer. And then that got lost too, and then so we moved to another trailer, and then she lost that. So then I went and stayed with my dad. It was like a bigger house, but they had like a 1-bedroom apartment in the house. And so it was me, my sister, and my dad in there. And that wound up not working out, so I left and I stayed in like an abandoned it's like an abandoned office building. And things wound up not working out there either, obviously. So
Is it hard looking back at these times in your life?
I wouldn't say hard. You know, sometimes some of the stuff is maybe a little heavy, but not too hard, because I mean, I went out and I made it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would, you know what I'm saying? Like I went out and I did what I had to do. Like if I was still in that and my life was just one big fuck up, then, you know, I'm sure that shit would be a lot heavier, because it would just be another thing added to the list. But now when I look back at those things, because of where I'm at now, you know, it's like a badge of honor for me. I made it through that, you know what I'm saying? And that couldn't break me. There was so many times like I could have folded, I could have quit. You know, I had, you know, from staying in the abandoned office building to not having a lot of food, being in the trailer, you know, being the kid from the middle of nowhere with other people, nobody else boxed there, so no one else believed I was gonna make it. I pull up to national tournaments and nobody else thought I was gonna be here, and I did my thing.
Before you found boxing, was there anything you wanted to be when you grew up that wasn't, you know, in sports?
I started martial arts when I was 9. I started boxing and kickboxing shortly after that. And but I started playing football when I was 7. And I played from 7 to 14, and I always loved football. And during football season, I just wouldn't go to the gym, but the rest of the year I'd be in the gym. So I always liked football, but as soon as I started fighting, I was like, man, this is what I really want to do. Like, 9 years old, I was like, man, this is what I want to be. I want to be a world champion. Like, I don't want to do nothing else. You know, there's honor in all work, regardless of what the job is. But for me, like the way my brain is wired and ADHD and, you know, all this other stuff, like I couldn't just stand still all day or sit in a cubicle all day or bag groceries all day. Like I would lose my fucking head if I had to do that. So being active and being able to move and like focus on a big goal, and it would have to be something like that for me. So ever since I was 9, I'm like, man, this is all I want to do. I want to be a world champion one day. And I always knew that I would be too, because there's a story where when I was in school as a young kid, like I would take a piece of paper and fill in my autograph on it, the whole front and back. And my teacher would come around and be like, you ain't doing your work. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm practicing my autograph. She's like, for what? I was like, because I'm going to be a world champion one day. She's like, well, you need a plan B. What if that don't work out? I said, no, I don't need your plan B. It's going to work. And then when I fought in Nashville against Vincent Feigenbutz to defend my world title, that teacher came to my fight, and she put that on Twitter. Like, she told that story and then said, damn, if he didn't go out and do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know it's got to the point where it's almost a cliche, but it's so true. We see it again and again that boxing saves people's lives, and I feel like that's true with yours. And like there probably would have been no other vacation or career where you've really maximized, you know, your earning income and your life opportunities as well, because now obviously, you know, you've got a beautiful young family. I know you've got another one on the way. I saw that, you know, adorable pictures you put up on Instagram recently on Mother's Day celebrating Jordan. You know, that journey is just incredible.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Yeah, it took a lot of hard work, but I had my mind made up.
I've lived in the US for over 3 years. A lot of that has been in Vegas. You know, I do see rising costs. The cost of living here is getting you know, quite high. And then the CEO and the CFO of Walmart were saying today, you know, that their costs for electrical goods and food is going to rise because of these tariffs. You know, when you kind of look around the current state of the US, the cost of living for people who may be in the position today that you were in when you were a boy, you know, what kind of do you feel about, you know, the way that you see the world now, considering the upbringing you had?
Yeah, I mean, poor is poor, you know, regardless of what year you're in. And it's not an easy thing, and it is stressful, you know. And I would just encourage, you can chase money all day long and just keep running and running and running, and you may just keep skating by. But the real secret to becoming successful is creating a skill, becoming good at something. And it needs to be something you love, because eventually it's going to become so hard, and there's going to be so many things that get in the way, and it's raining, and your car is messing up, and just all the bullshit that comes with life. If you don't love it, you're going to wind up quitting, because it's too hard. It's too hard to keep going. So you got to find something you love, and you got to hone in on that skill and keep cultivating that skill until you're really good at it. And then the money will come to you, and they'll say, oh man, we need you for your skill. We're going to pay you this. And you may have to start out here, but as you build your reputation, you know, you'll be able to move up the ladder. And that's honestly the only way to beat that. You know, if you keep just, I'm gonna work this job, and then I'm gonna get a second job, and then I'm gonna get a third job, like, you're just gonna run yourself into the ground. You got to create skill, and you got to create a way to let people know that you have that skill, so that comes to you.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that with me. Just a couple more things, like, you know, we hear of muscle memory in sports and health and fitness. I was just wondering, like, if there's kind of a muscle memory for hardship with you, or do you kind of allow, you know, what's your attitude when it comes to spending and saving? I can see obviously there's loads of sneakers in the background. You know, do you ever, if you want something, do you go out and get it, or do you kind of have this debate in your head, you know, like, oh, do I need it? Or, you know, do you kind of allow yourself to have these, you know, material things in your life that you deserve?
It just depends. You know, there's some things I want, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna save up and I'm gonna get it. And there's some things that I want, and I'm like, I gotta have that. Like,
have you got an example of the things that you feel like you've had to have gotten?
My 72 Chevelle.
Yeah.
You know, my Impala. Some things you just gotta have, and I worked hard to get it, you know, and I didn't do it before I could afford it. I waited until I could afford it, and you know, those are things that I wanted since I was a kid, and I didn't rush into buying them and putting myself in a hole. But once I was in a position, I had to have it. And there's some things that you may want, and then after a day, you know, sometimes it's just about not rushing, because after a day or two, you're like, you know what, I probably don't really need that. So, you know, I'm proud to say that I've been really good with my money. Me and Jordan have been really good with our money. You know, we've invested well. We've invested into the NFL. We've invested into apartment complexes. We've invested into rental properties and stocks and all types of stuff. So, you know, we've done really well for ourselves, and we've been smart about it too, you know, because it leaves a lot faster than it comes. So you got to be smart.
And what's next for you? Obviously, we've got this fight. You're on the same bill as Jermall. There's rivalry between you guys. You know, maybe we could see you guys fight later in the year. You got another baby on the way, it looks like. You know, this is kind of, you know, the peak of your both career and your personal life.
Just, you know, handling business on May 31st, and you know, moving forward after that with, you know, if everything works out as it's supposed to, then probably have a big fight at the end of the year, and be welcoming my son here soon this summer, and, you know, some other things on the way that I'll wait to, you know, share with the world. But it's all good stuff, and, you know, it's just, it feels good to see a plan come together.
Caleb, really appreciate you sharing that with me. I think you're, you know, a true American success story, and yeah, I look forward to writing that and following your journey going on. You've still got a lot more to give to sport and in your family life as well. I can't wait to write more about it.
My man, I appreciate you.
That was Combat X with Caleb Plant. But on this show, we're not done quite yet, as we've also got Jermall Charlo. I've spoken to Jermall Charlo ever since 2019. He's a two-weight world champion and one of America's best-known boxers today. Having spoken to him for years, one thing has always been clear to me. He's always wanted to fly that flag for America and win titles for this country. When I spoke to him before his last fight, which was against Jose Benavidez back in 2023, something really seemed amiss, I'm not going to lie. I was tempted to write a column saying he shouldn't be fighting if he's not in the right frame of mind to do so. He was uncharacteristically disinterested to me before he had that fight. He looked disheveled. Again, that's not like him. Usually he looks good. He looks ready to fight. You know, he takes care in his appearance. However, he went out and he beat Jose Benavidez pretty easily. We've heard him talk about struggles with mental health through that time and about being bipolar. This time around, it's like speaking to a different person. It looks like he's got his mojo back. And as you can see from my time with him most recently, I was thrilled to see him back at his best in that sense, mentally. At 35 years old though, and heading into the ring against a far more active Thomas Lamanna, the question this time is a physical one rather than mental. Can he still perform at his best? To find out, you'll have to watch this upcoming PBC on Prime Video card. Until then, please like and subscribe to our channel Swerve Combat on YouTube and keep coming back for more episodes of Combat X. Up now, Combat X, Jermall Charlo. Hey Jermall, thanks for joining me today. I always appreciate your time. How you doing?
What's up, big man?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you box again, and particularly seeing you and Caleb fight in separate bouts on the same card. It's been a while since we've seen you, though. Are you excited to be back in the ring?
I'm excited, man. The fire lit. Can't wait to get in there and show the world.
Yeah, I mean, you look good. Like, I've spoken to you like before a few of your fights now. Like, why haven't we seen you box in 18 months?
I've been just waiting on the management, the promoters, the team, everything to be right, mentally, physically. I'm back in shape now. I'm back ready. I'm ready to fight, ready to give everybody what they ready to see.
I'm excited to see it. This is only your fourth fight in 5 years, but in that same time, your opponent, Thomas Lamanna, he's fought 12 times. I keep thinking, like, in this game, activity matters, but do you think it will matter in this fight? Do you think you've got enough skills to kind of outweigh how busy your opponent has been in the last 5 years?
No, that's fine. You can fight all you want. You got a lot of catching up to do. So it's all about experience and talent. So I'm on it.
I think American boxing for me had a banner year in 2023. We had banger fights. Gervonta Davis was involved in that. Spence and Crawford as well. But things kind of seemed to calm down last year. Have you been following the sport since you've last fought? What's your take on the state of boxing in 2025 in this country?
I think it's picking up. We're getting back to where we left off. A lot of things change. It's just a different. It's a different era. So we going into the last part of the first 20 centuries of 2020, and it's just it's just a new era. It's a new grade of boxers that's coming out now. We went from having real world champions to fighting out of weight class. Was crazy to me at a point when they, Floyd fought a big guy fought a little guy, but now it's going from like YouTube and, and random rappers becoming boxers, and, you could be a painter, and as long as you know how to talk a little bit and want to fight somebody, it would be a pay-per-view bout somewhere,
I don't really fuck with the misfits kind of thing, but I do kind of feel like I've got props to Jake Paul. I think he's like kind of a unicorn and kind of an exception to the rule.
He was the first one to do it, in a sense. Him and his brother was like, his brother fought Floyd, YouTubers that really just took over. Like, I felt like that was, but now they oversaturating it, A lot of these YouTubers never been in the ring before, don't know what it feel like to really put blood, sweat, and tears out there. So, that's when they not taking boxing that serious, but yeah.
I think it was one of the first times you and I first talked before, I think it was going back 2019. And it was when you were at middleweight, and the middleweight championship had gone around the world. I think Canelo had taken it, and some of the British guys were holding some of the titles. And you said to me you wanted to bring the titles back to America. Boxing now as a whole sport, we've seen it kind of go around the world. Saudi Arabia is picking up as well. But with guys like you and the talent we know you have, you've got the chance to fly the flag for America, providing you're active to keep fans caring. Because when you do fight, they care. Do you want to fly the flag for America again, and be active? And
I do. I want to be, get back to how it used to be. But boxing is not the same no more. Out with the old and with the new. So we'll see. Is this guy's timing? However God wanted it to go, I'm down for it to go.
Who do you think are the best American fighters right now? Like you mentioned, out of the old in with the new. Like Deontay Wilder was really repping America for a long while, but he's I know he's coming back next month, but he's been out of the game for a while. You and your brother have been out, but who do you think are the best American fighters at the moment?
Terrence Crawford. Definitely one of the best Americans right now. It's not too big of a list, honestly. But we back, you know. The originators are back. You know, it's we gotta give our hats off though right now because we putting a lot of weight on like Ryan Garcia and the Devin Haney's and the Rollies. We putting a lot of weight on their shoulders because we not here. So we here to take a little bit of that weight off their shoulders and let them know like the Americans always run boxing.
The last time I spoke to you was before your fight with Jose Benavidez. Just something seemed a bit off in the build-up, and I was tempted to put it out there that I wasn't sure if you should fight. But when I did see you fight, you 190'd him on the night. You know, I thought you looked great. But you're vibing right now. I like your energy. Is there anything that's changed in the last 18 months? I did notice your brother's been in camp with you. Is it like having him by your side?
No, I mean, yeah, having my brother, yeah, but on top of that, I rebuilt this. I rebuilt my team. You know, I have some characters, some bold characters, and some real life workers around me. And everyone working and just gave me back energy and real brothers, like brotherhood. You know, and we all believe in God, and we all have strong faith with just knowing that like, you know, things come and go, and you know it's all God's timing. And I'm happier now than I ever been because I got a lot of the chaos and the drama, and I got a lot of things out of my life that I won't ever get that back again. I mean, some of the times was cool, but my nature means more. So I feel a lot better, man. This has probably been like one of the best camps I had.
Just a couple of last ones from me. Like, I know you've probably been asked this quite a lot, but if you win and if Caleb wins, are we going to see you two face off in the ring? Can we see you and him fight this year?
This is not WWE or WWF or none of that, but we're gonna go to the drawing board after the fight, and we're gonna figure out what's the next steps to get that major fight, and get it out the way. We want to give you fans what y'all want to see. So it's not like we holding it back. It's not on Caleb. It's not on me. It's a whole government behind this whole thing. So we just gotta wait. You know, wait it out, figure out what they're gonna do, and as soon as we get the okay, it's up.
Remember when PBC signed Canelo, and it seemed like the plan was for him to have Jermall and then you and then David Benavidez, but obviously he only had Jermall. Is Canelo someone you still would want to fight?
Yeah, I definitely would like to fight him before my career's over.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to entertain that fight, but if it don't happen, what's the point of keep chasing him on the time getting, you know, going by it? The fans getting anxious and things of that nature.
I mean, I was hoping he was going to fight David Benavidez as well, but I think he's gotten to the point where he's kind of ignoring fights.
Yeah. I don't think he's going back up to 75 after Bevo and all those. I don't know. We don't know. No one knows. It's a Canelo world, so no one knows.
Jermall, I'm so glad I spoke to you like this. You've got me hyped to see you again. You know, I wish you best on the fight week, and I hope to, I'm looking forward to writing your story, and I'm looking forward to seeing you perform.
Ready, brother.